Welcome back to live coverage on MG Sports of the Jamaican Premier League. Here we have for you today, live from the Ferdinita Sports Complex. Of course, home of Portmore United, 7-time champions. They'll be playing Spanish Town Police FC. Currently just minutes away from kickoff, and as we just await the players coming out onto the pitch, just giving you a short rundown of all that's been happening recently. Of course, we brought to you live coverage, of course, on Monday night of the game between Arnett Gardens. Arnett taking on Harbourview, 2-0 to the good for them, courtesy of 2 goals from 34-year-old, of course, Fabian Reed, with both goals. And also, actually, yesterday had 2 games as well. Treasure Beach losing 4-1 to Racing United, as well as Malines playing Dumble Holden. And so today, of course, as we said before, it's Portmore versus Spanish Town Police, and Spanish Town Police haven't had the best of seasons so far. Haven't had the best season so far. They're currently rooted at the bottom of the table, but the their 2 wins this season have come in their last 5 games, so they're somewhat picking up some sort of form. And even though they lost their most recent game to Tivoli, courtesy of an own goal, a late own goal by Lamar Davis, they should take some heart from the fact that they've improved recently, and they'll be hoping to get something out of this away game against Portmore United, who are currently 3rd in the standings. Had a great season so far, and of course they'll be looking to continue. They've drawn their last 3 games, and in large part that is because while they have a very good defense, they don't really have a consistent goal threat that you can depend on in terms of having a specific player or group of players. No one really doing that well in terms of the Golden Boot standings, but a couple of players that we definitely want to talk about eventually. But just gonna give you the lineups first and foremost. First of all, we have Portmore United FC with Robert Henry starting in goal today. Ramon Howell, of course, captaining the team. Emilio Rousseau, Akeem Mullins, Jaheen Rose, Orlando Russell, Rashawn Small, Romeo Guthrie, who starts today, Clayton Pick, Gawain Austin, and Javier Brown. Starting today for Spanish Town Police FC, we have Glenroy Samuel, Siobhan Walters, Lamar Davis, Tajay Harris, Shamar Harris, Jordan Elliston, one to watch, we'll talk about him after, Jaheim McGregor, Giovanni Brown, Raime, I believe, Gale, Devontae Ricketts, and Mushili Dunkley, who received a shout out not so long ago in our live chat. Of course, with just 4 minutes to go until kickoff. Well, that's the official kickoff time. That's 3 p.m. Just taking some time to go through some of the notable names that will be playing today. And of course, main one for Spanish Town Police FC, none other than Jordan Elliston, who has 5 goals this season. He's been, of course, their main goal threat, and must also make mention rather of the fact that they have so far the worst defense in the league, but statistically at least, and they'll be looking to really improve on that. They only conceded 1, to be fair, last time out, and it was an own goal. So they seem to be trying to get that aspect of their game under wraps, but it is worth noting. And here we have the players coming out onto the pitch now. And as we conclude with the playing of the national anthem, we can just get back to quick shortly to the analysis of the game. Well, pre-game analysis, I should say. And of course, just continue with Spanish Town FC. Of course, they did lose Diamond Clark during the transfer window to Arnett Gardens, and of course, we saw him make his debut for his new club just the other night. That will definitely be a huge blow for them for the rest of the season, as they don't have many outside of Jordan Elliston in the way of players who can provide that quality in the final third. So definitely a big miss, but they'll be hoping that their main man in the number 10 can provide some spark today. And as we turn attention to Portmore United, they have no shortage of players that can contribute on both sides of the ball. Of course, Captain Ramon Hoyle, dependable as ever, always impressed whenever I see him play, never really loses the ball, tall and pretty imposing in that middle of the park, all around really good midfielder. Of course, Romeo Guthrie, one of their main goal threats this season, has 2 goals in 9, and of course he gets a start today. Expecting some big things from that young man. But I'm also surprised, I must say, to see that both Peter McGregor and Ronaldo Robinson are both on the bench today. Would have figured either or would have played. Either one of them would have played, not necessarily both, but both of them definitely have the ability to turn this game on its head. Expecting big things in the second half when either of those two come on. And of course, must make mention, of course, as well of the fact that Stephen Young, right back, did play recently in the this game. against Cavalier for the Reggae Boyz, so that's perhaps a reason as to why he's on the bench today. And we're on the way. Spanish Town Police. Portmore United just still trying to formulate an attack here. In the first minute of the game, number 17 on the ball, Wayne Austin. Oh, good turn there, but unfortunately loses out. It's Small perhaps held onto the ball too long there and lost out to Jordan Elliston. Play stopped there for I believe an infringement on number 12 there for Spanish Town Police FC, Tajay Harris. Or at least it's just in need of some medical attention, even if it's not a foul. And for the moment, they'll have to play with 10 men, just for the time being. Must say, these are the conditions I believe footballers sometimes dread. Yes, the sun's nice, but can be draining at times. But hopefully, they'll take advantage. And here's an attack by Portmore United down that left-hand side. And fortunately, they win a corner. Romeo Guthrie, spoke about him before the match. On the ball there. Does well to win his team a set piece. And he'll be the one going over to take it. Corner comes in. Aimed towards Russell. Unable to make any connection, however. And the ball goes out wide. And here's Mullins. In the middle of the park. Looks wide. Finds a teammate. Opting to go for the long pass. Unable to find his teammate, however, and the keeper comes for that one. There's Elliston trying to flick it on, unable to do so, and of course Russell was always going to get to that one. There's Austin trying to find Small, but loses out. And Spanish Town Police FC just really struggling to get a hold of the game here. A number of their first touches not really of the quality you'd expect, but or you'd want rather. But hopefully they can begin to just grow into the game. Looking for Elliston, of course their danger man, but unable to get through to him. Here's Rose to Howell. Switch of play there finding Austin. And that pass cut out there by number 16, Giovanni Brown. And that goes out of touch for a throw-in to Portmore United. Oh, lovely ball over the top there. Aim towards. And that's ruled offside. But lovely idea, however, by Austin. They're going for the jugular right away. And had Clayton Pick just make sure his run was onside, that could have been the first goal of the encounter here. Samuel just telling his team to push up and clears it downfield. And Austin wins that ahead of Elliston. And here's Howell to Peck. Played back to Henry in goal. Out wide again to Austin. Another wayward pass, and that's cut out by Gale. So wide. Oh, and a lovely move there. Can he get a cross in? Unfortunately, not for him. And that's cleared by Small. Oh, good turn there by number 12. Good turn by Javier Brown, and he wins a free kick. Had Gale beat there. And wins his team just some breathing space and an ability and a chance to move the pitch. Ball in behind. In behind for number 20. Rose. Cross. Back for Guthrie. Oh, great shot. Well, great attempt. But that goes out for a throw-in. Lovely work to play there by Portmore United. Really thought that cross from Rose was about to be smashed in by Guthrie, who, of course, as you mentioned before, is definitely the one to watch. But unfortunately couldn't capitalize, and score remains 0-0 thus far. Still seeking that early goal. But so far, Portmore United having it as expected all their way. As we approach the 7-minute mark. Spanish Town Police really just failing to get any real sort of foothold in the game. Passes have been wayward thus far. First touch has not been the greatest. And that's cleared out by Samuel. And here's Guthrie. Does well to keep position there under some duress. And here's Rose trying to get the beating of Harris, who of course sustained that knock earlier on. Elliston just not on the same page there as Davis. And that's cleared out. Out of play. Captain Walters there just urging for his team to just relax more. Urging for some calm on the pitch from his team. Another pass into space trying to find Ellis, and Ricketts does well to get past Guthrie there. Again, trying for those passes into the space, trying to find him. Elliston, but pass there from Guthrie, cut out and play. Oh, lovely skill there. Lovely skill. Again, trying to find Clayton Peck. But the ball from Javier Brown comes to naught because of the offside decision. And here's Howell. Does well to skip out of that challenge unharmed. And Rose gets it out wide again to Brown. Brown being pressed relentlessly by McGregor. And Elliston almost got to that loose ball there, but thankfully Portmore United on hand. Ooh, Guthrie. Bit of a wayward pass, almost pounced on by Elliston, but Portmore United not made to pay there. Portmore United just doing really well at trying to find those passes in behind. And here's Howell, perhaps looking for another line-splitting pass, but instead opts for Guthrie with a beautiful through pass for Small. What can he do? Oh, what a cross, and somehow not turned in. And it even seems for his troubles that Orlando Russell may have picked up a knock, but no, he's up and he's fine, and his Ricketts as a counter. Spanish Town Police FC can get a goal. Beautiful move. And what a save by Robert Henry. By a shot there by number 11, Jaheim McGregor. Lovely move there to get past his man. Just unable to get the accuracy perhaps as he wanted on it, but nevertheless, great save by Robert Henry. First real action we've seen from Spanish Town Police FC in the attacking third, and almost taking the lead there against the run of play, I have to say. Oh, good skill there by Peck. Gets it out wide again to Russell. And unfortunately, that failed cross attempt ricochets off of him and will go out for a goal kick. Samuel this time just opting for a shorter pass, and a good turn there by number 18, Lamar Davis, but deemed to have been fouled on the turn. And so the free kick will be taken by number 16, Giovanni Brown. If I were him, I'd up for a short pass here, but he goes long and to no avail. That's cleared by Rashawn Small. Guthrie loses out there to Ryan Miguel. And it's a throw in there to be taken again by Brown. Finds Ricketts. Gale trying to get past Small on that left-hand side. Unable to do so, and that's a throw for Portmore United. Rousseau trying to find Mullins over on that left-hand side, but poor control results in a throw into Spanish Town Police FC. That's headed away by Mullins. Guthrie decides to turn back. Clear downfield with the intention of finding Peck, who's been dangerous so far. Heads it on for Russell, but he loses out there to Siobhan Walters. And his Ricketts has time, he has space. Finds a teammate. But McGregor loses the ball there. McGregor, of course, had perhaps the best opportunity of the game. His shot coming a couple moments ago. Saved beautifully. Really well there by Robert Henry in Portmore. In Portmore's goal. A big reason as to why they've had a really good defense this year. Not the greatest pass in the world there by Russell. Back to Austin, and of course, Austin made him quite clear. Made it quite clear about how he felt about that pass. But nevertheless, Portmore United come forward. There's Mullins, unable to keep that in play, and Portmore United just expressing some frustration from their players. And it's McGregor being run down by Mullins, who wins that ball back. Nice little back heel there to get it back to Rousseau. And here's Javier Brown, unable to do anything with it, however. But it's Peck. Unfortunately, wayward pass, and that goes all the way through to Glenroy Samuel. Brown looking long for Elliston. Oh, and lovely work there. Davis trying to find his teammate again for the return pass, unable to do so, and Small can come clear. Looking downfield for Russell, but I have to say these long passes aren't really working out. You see more of aimless ones rather than ones really looked at with intention and any sort of real purpose. Kind of just being hoofed upfield. But, oh, lovely pass there in the middle of the park. Lovely work there between Rose and Russell there. But Portmore United again lose possession, and Elliston does well in tight spaces. Bit of a high boot there from, I believe that was Gale. And of course, that's a foul to Portmore United, and there's Howell on the ball again. If Portmore are going to win this game, they're going to need him to put in another dominant performance, which he is one to do. Not necessarily the best pass from Howell there. And Spanish Town Police FC can come clear. That should have been a foul in my opinion. Well, that drag back there on Davis by Hall, and he receives a yellow card. And here's Elliston. Went for a turn too many and ends up losing the ball in the box there. Could have made something of that chance. And a strike from distance for Spanish Town Police FC from Mushili Dunkley. And any effort on goal at this point for Spanish Town Police FC is a welcome one. Good to see them getting some shots away. And they are putting some pressure on Portmore. And I have to say, some of these efforts are coming from unforced errors. And that will be key in this game. Who can capitalize on the errors that are sure to come? That's Hole. That's offside. I believe that was Brown. Javier Brown was offside. Spanish Town Police FC just not really able to consistently progress the play. Not really efficient in their passing. Rose loses out there. Portmore can come clear. Guthrie, good pass. But despite the shot from Russell there, that is ruled offside. Goalkeeper Glenroy Samuel is down. We'll be getting some medical assistance. I have to say, Guthrie, I did say it before the game that in the pre-match analysis that he would be the one to watch for them going forward, and it's proven to be the case. He's been their most dangerous attacker, playing some lovely passes in behind the channels, trying to find runners in behind, and he's pretty good in tight spaces, I have to say. Worrying that and stretching that Spanish Town Police FC defense, which of course I've noted before that despite their improvement, I guess, in recent weeks, not necessarily the most tight of defenses. They've conceded the most goals so far this season in the Jamaican Premier League. And based on how the game's gone so far, I'd expect perhaps that Portmore would eventually break the deadlock, just based on how the game has gone so far. But thankfully, Glenroy Samuel's back to his feet. Should be okay. And seems in his place, Walters. I guess get this one started for us. Miss Harris. Miss Brown. Gale, I should say. Gets it out wide. Harris loses out to Brown, trying to thread the needle, trying to find 16, of course, that's Russell, but unable to do so. Looking wide for Ricketts, finds him, but Rashawn Small does well to win the ball back there. And Rose finds Howell. And Rousseau on the ball now. It's Javier Brown. Turns. Finds Mullins. And here's Clayton Peck. Crossing field. Not sure who is crossing to. But this one the clearance rather only goes as far as Jaheen Rose.
No. Good.
Oh. And that's a free kick. Lovely hold-up play there. And he wins a free kick for his team. Of course, that being, I'm assuming, Russell. Seems Guthrie is the most likely option to strike this dead ball. And based on his technical ability, would not bet against him scoring here. Could raise the roof off the Ferdinita if he were to bend one in from this distance. Seems Russell's also over it. But again, most likely will be Guthrie. It is Guthrie! Just over. Lovely attempt. Unfortunately, just couldn't get enough dip on it to pent into that far corner. But great attempt there by Guthrie. Samuel gets that downfield, looking for Ricketts. Neither him nor Rick nor his teammate were able to get to that one. Portmore United can come clear. Oh, lovely work in the middle of the park by Howell. Small, aiming for Guthrie, unable to find him, and Ricketts can come clear. Hoofs it downfield. Aiming for Davis, but not enough accuracy. And here's Portmore United aiming with another long ball for Russell. And after some good communication between Samuel and his defender, seems Spanish Town Police will get rid of the danger. Looking for McGregor here, but the pass is out of touch. And that's a throw-in to Portmore United. Seeing some of the interplay in the middle of the park between Brown and Rose, and at times Hull. Been lovely to watch in spurts. We'll be hoping that can eventually result in a goal. And here's Guthrie. Who's out there in the middle of the park. Oh, good skill there by McGregor. Twinkle toes. Oh, absolutely running his defender ragged. But the pass, unfortunately, not as good as the footwork. And Guthrie gets it wide to Peck. Is Austin. Thought about using Brown there, but gets it wide instead to Small, who tried a feint there on Harris, but unfortunately wasn't able to get past him, but did win a throw. Small opts for a cross, and that will be blocked by Giovanni Brown, who does win a throw-in for Spanish Town Police FC. Portmore United have had a lot of joy on these wings, but I think instead of opting for the early cross at times, they could perhaps use their wingers and their fullbacks to just dribble more inside the 18 before attempting the cross. And here's some action in the corner flag between Brown and, I believe that's a throw-in to Spanish Town Police FC after a long tussle where pretty much nothing happened. But nevertheless, good work there by Brown. I have to say, McGregor has been one of the few bright spots today so far for Spanish Town Police FC. Of course, as I mentioned before, had that shot saved early on in the game. And since then, he has shown in spurts some brilliant moments, some nice footwork to get past defenders, just sadly lacking that final pass at times. That will be so crucial, of course, to Spanish Town Police FC getting a goal, which they haven't got many of this season, and a poor touch there by Brown. Loses out to Small, who finds Guthrie, has acres of space. He has teammates to find in the box. Goes alone! And I think because of a bobble on the ground, or either a save by Samuel in goal, that goes wide. And yes, I believe it was a save, and that will be a corner kick to Portmore United. And Romeo Guthrie will go over the take. He's been, of course, as I mentioned before, the danger man thus far, and had almost a moment of brilliance there. Had a couple of teammates to use, instead opted to go alone and almost got his name on the score sheet, but instead he takes this corner, set piece in, keeper comes for it, and punches clear, only as far as Clayton Peck. Delivers a cross into the box. but to no one. And here's Jaheim McGregor again. Can he counter for Spanish Town Police? He loses out to Jain Rose, I should say. Ricketts wins the ball back for Spanish Town. Miss Brown looks in field. It's his teammate. Scale and cleared, delivered wide. Looking for Elliston, and that's headed away. Could have been a foul there on Ricketts, but referee says no harm. Play continues and cleared downfield, looking again for Elliston. Not sure why they're opting to go along so many times to a player who I believe is not even 5'8", but nevertheless, Portmore United have the ball now, and despite not getting a goal yet, are in the ascendancy. Here's Howell. Ball over the top, aimed toward Russell, but pretty easy for Samuel to deal with. Not enough accuracy on that one, a bit too much power. Ball aimed towards Elliston, cleared by Russell. Ooh, a high boot by Russell on McGregor, but no foul. Rose loses out there in the middle of the park to Gale. Trying to find Ricketts, but that's cleared away by the left back Mullins. And here's Walters, who has been really good at the middle of the defense there, but leaves out of position. And here's Guthrie, beats a man, finds a teammate out wide. Oh, poor cross there. And had that been a better delivery, Portmore United really could have made Spanish Town Police FC pay there. Had them sprawling. Had numbers forward as well, but final pass again in the final third, just not good enough. And that's cleared downfield. Dunkley is judged to a fouled Rose there. And James there, number 6 for Spanish Town Police FC. Just lamenting the refereeing decision. Don't think I'm allowed to say what exactly he said, but does seem they're quite upset about the decisions the referee is making. And Rose just getting some medical attention there following that rough tackle, to say the least, from Moshli Dunkley. I have to say, Portmore United have been playing pretty well, but just as I mentioned in the pre-match analysis, they've not necessarily had a consistent goal threat. It's been more of a balanced attack where a number of players actually find themselves on 2 goals for the season. And of course, Ronaldo Robinson, who's on the bench today, as I mentioned previously, has 3. But no one they can really depend on to say game in, game out. They know that player will get you a goal or an assist. Don't really have a player like a Fabian Reed, who we mentioned scored a double the Monday night. They don't really have a Rowan Brown. They don't have a Tajay Grant. But what they do have is a really well-balanced team who, you know, goals can come from anywhere, really. And they'll be hoping that Romeo Guthrie can make that leap this year. He's been looking like by far their most creative player. But for him to make that next leap in terms of as a player, he's going to have to get a bit more goals. And play restarts here. So gets it out wide to Rose. As Small. Howell gets the ball ahead of Gale, but was asking for a foul after a dangerous tackle. Howell controls. Gets it to Russell. Aiming towards Russell. Able to get to him. Howell loses out there to Jaheim McGregor. And because he loses out to him, ends up fouling him. And Spanish Town Police FC finally have a breather. It seems Glenroy Samuel again, after being down just a couple of minutes ago, is down again. And this time I believe he's holding his head. Perhaps just an opportunity to get some respite for Spanish Town Police FC, who, despite at times getting, one or two opportunities, have been mostly on the back foot for the majority of this game. His teammate Lamar Davis just going over to see what's wrong. And Summers is back on his feet. And the play should restart with Brown taking this free kick, of course, for the foul just a few moments ago on McGregor. Cleared again downfield. Aim towards McGregor, and Howell gets that clear. Russell is out there, and Howell gets that to Clayton. Trying to find Rose, but loses the ball out to McGregor, who does well to get past Rose. Finds Davis. Davis is cross, trying to find Ricketts, but Gawain Austin does well to usher that out for a goal kick. And again, another Spanish Town Police FC attack comes to nothing. Guthrie. I have to say that I'm sure he didn't mean that, but nevertheless, his pass ended up being accurate. And here's a mistake here at the back from Police FC, but unfortunately for Portmore United, Brown wasn't able to be alert enough to pounce on it. A number of mistakes here by both teams, but as I said before, the key to winning this game, I believe, based on what we've seen so far, will be who is able to really capitalize on these mistakes, because there are plenty of them. Poor control there by Ricketts, and Howell gets it out to Rousseau. Howell. Lovely pass there for Peck. He's judged to be offside. I didn't think he was, but according to the linesman, he is. Trying again to find Elliston, but I think he was better off opting for a safer pass there, and his Rose getting out wide to Small, who has space, he has time. Opts for a cross. And Walters, unorthodox clearance. Russell. Yes, he's offside, but really should be doing better in the box there with the control. Unable to trap the ball as he wanted. Just couldn't put it under his spell. Portmore United will need to get rid of these mistakes in the final third if they want to take the lead. Throw taken by Brown, aim towards McGregor, who does well to get past Small. And wins a free kick for his troubles there. A lot of fighting, or perhaps it's just banter, but just a lot of division I've seen between the players for Spanish Town Police FC. But that's a free kick taken, dangerous one at that, by number 14 Shamar Harris, but Henry gets to that one. Headed clear. And that's a throw in to Spanish Town Police FC. And Russell now has time and space. Opts for a pass in behind to Peck. And after a poor clearance, does get through to him. Gets down the line. Oh, and that should be a foul. Free kick as well, and a yellow card. A dangerous position here. Perhaps not striking distance based on the angle, but definitely a very dangerous position. Good work there by Clayton Peck to win that free kick. Skipped past his man wonderfully on that left-hand side. That man being Shamar Harris, who's given up the foul and has gone into the book.
42nd minute, caution issued to number 14, Shamar Harris of Spanish Town Police FC. And earlier on in the match, in the 18th minute, a caution was issued to number 26, Ramon Howell.
And there you have it, as the announcer does make it official that it is Shamar Harris who's received that yellow card. Free kick to be taken. Romeo Guthrie, the danger man, over it. Taken low and hard, but not accurate. And Lamar Davis not able to do anything with the counter. Rousseau pressed by 3 players. And apparently the referee called play back. Not sure why. Perhaps for a little drag back by Portmore United. And the fans can breathe a sigh of relief because that could have been a dangerous counter-attack there. Switch of play aimed towards McGregor, not able to find him, and Rashawn Small loses out. And out of frustration, hits Ricketts in the face. And that is also a yellow card. A number of cards now being thrown out by the referee. Issued out, I should say. And this will be a free kick taken on the left-hand side by number 14, Shamar Harris, who's, of course, just mentioned in the book.
Rashawn Small of Portmore United.
Police FC will be hoping for a good delivery here. Harris, delivery in, and cleared by Henry, but the follow-up shot, despite going over, wouldn't have counted for anything. Referee blows his whistle for an offside. So looking long for Russell, I believe, but Walters does well with that. Heads that clear for a throw-in. And safest place, of course, to put the ball is always out of touch. So.
And the fourth official indicates a minimum 3 minutes to be added to the first half.
Cross coming, and I believe that actually met the head of Javier Brown, who headed it the other way. Ooh, rough challenge in the air there by Russell. He's had a number of those. This time connecting with the back of Jordan Elliston, and he too gets a yellow card. I believe that's about 4 now for the game. Portmore United will have to be careful with how rough they've been playing recently.
In the 45th minute +1, caution issued to
Brown
6 meter cells.
looking for Elliston again, and after a mistake, he almost got to it. Howell does really well to get past Davis. He's Guthrie in the middle of the park. Does well under pressure to retain position as Rose to Small, trying to get the ball back to Guthrie. And here's McGregor. Has space, but just couldn't sort his feet out in time and loses the ball out to Rose. Here's Howell to Guthrie to Brown. Hits it out wide to Rose. McGregor strong enough to get the ball off Rose there. And here's Brown, can come clear. He has options. And he finds one. Here's Ricketts on the left-hand side, trying to find Elliston, who does well to retain position, but despite the challenge of Javier Brown, keeps it. The referee touched it, of course, but of course gave it back. Here's Harris aiming it towards Ricketts. Again, with the long balls, not really sure of why they're going to that option every time, but somehow they've won a throw in out of it on this left-hand side here. And Spanish Town Police will be aiming to make Portmore pay for yet another unforced error, this time by Rashawn Small. And there's McGregor. Cross. Less said about that cross, the better. And the referee blows for half-time. Portmore United unable to break the deadlock. Perhaps have had the better of the chances, bit of the possession, but unable to find that all-important goal. Number of really good moments, some sparks of brilliance from players like Clayton Peck and Romeo Guthrie, but unfortunately just not able to get what really matters at the end of the day, which is, of course, the goal. Spanish Town Police FC, as I mentioned before, despite the fact that they are not just the worst defense in the league, but currently last in the table, have put up more of a fight in recent weeks, and they're showing that today, not rolling over, not accepting defeat, and been valiant in their efforts to keep a clean sheet thus far, led of course by captain at the back Siobhan Walters, who's been decent today at the center of their defense. And also must make mention of Giovanni Brown at this left back, who's come up well against Sean Small. And of course, that brings to the end, as I mentioned, the first half, and score reads Portmore United 0 and Spanish Town Police FC 0. back to MG Sports live coverage. Of course, we're bringing to you from Ferdinand Sports Complex for Portmore United's game in the Jamaican Premier League against Spanish Town Police FC. Unfortunately for Portmore United, despite the chances, despite the position, they've yet to break the deadlock, the home team. And as it stands, remains 0-0, but the home team have a chance to right that wrong, and they will kick off the second half.
Season number 29, Shane Hughes replacing number 10, Jordan Ellison.
And it seems that a substitution has been made for Spanish Town Police FC. Number 29, Pusey, coming on for their danger man. Number 10, Jordan Elliston. Not sure why, not certain if he sustained a knock, but I can't think of any other reason as to why they'd replace a man who has by far their most goals this season. But they'll be hoping at least to get some contribution from Pusey. And here's McGregor, who looked lively in the first half. Wins a throw-in for his team. Throw in toward Ricketts. There's Pusey. First touch, not the best, but he has space. Shot by Lamar Davis, but that goes way over. Never really going to trouble Henry and goal there. As I said before, not really certain as to the exact reason as to why somebody like Elliston would be taken off, but I must say he endured a terrible time of it in the first half. And here's Portmore United on the attack. Across. Oh, and Clayton Peck. His cross is turned in, I think, by Siobhan Walters. And Portmore United finally break the deadlock. Lovely work down that right-hand side there. And the cross came in. Unfortunately, Siobhan Walters was unable to turn that from going into his own net. Now, Sean Small has been extremely dangerous down that right-hand side the entire game, and finally gets off on a pretty accurate cross, and that's turned in. Clayton Peck, of course, his ball going back across the face of the goal, and that ended up being turned in. And play restarts. Spanish Town Police FC yet again find themselves on the back foot, find themselves behind in the game, but Javier Brown, lovely ball, looking for Russell, but that's cleared. Howell does well there to get that pass to Rose. Javier Brown with a cross into the box. Finds Clayton Peck, who perhaps had a bit of time and space to actually do something with that, but and there, as we have it, based on what the announcers said, officially it is Clayton Peck's goal, although it could have been argued that was an own goal, but definitely well deserved based on how he's played and of course his involvement in the goal, of course, first and foremost. Throw in taken a bit too quickly, and Javier Brown gets there ahead of the goalkeeper Samuel, who brings him down, and we could see 2 goals here in quick succession just within the space of a few minutes. Portmore United, who despite having chances and possession in the first half, couldn't make the most of the opportunity, could find themselves 2 goals up just within the first couple of minutes in the second half. And it seems Clayton Peck is about to take this one, which of course, should he score, would be his second of the game. Of course, would be giving the home fans something to cheer about here. 2 goals to the good, of course, would put them in the driver's seat really to see out the rest of this game, and perhaps maybe, who knows, run the score up. Clayton Peck steps up and he puts it home firmly into the corner of the net, and that is 2-0 to Portmore United. Clayton Peck, really good performance thus far, and he has his well-deserved second goal of the game. And within a matter of just a couple minutes, Spanish Town Police FC find themselves 2-0 down. Fought bravely in the first half to keep that clean sheet, but unfortunately couldn't hold on for much longer. And I'm wondering if perhaps had they kept on Jordan Elliston for a bit longer, maybe would have made a difference, but no time for hypotheticals at this moment in time. Gale trying to find a pass through there for Lamar, but unable to do so. So that will be a throw-in to Portmore United here on this right-hand side of the pitch. Or the right-hand side of Portmore United's attack, rather. Guthrie, good return pass. Just goes out of play, however, before Russell could get to it. There's Ricketts. Oh, good skill there to beat Guthrie. Finds Mushley Dunkley in the middle of the park. There's Harris. Siobhan Walters, who before that mistake that led to the goal, could have said he played well. Javier Brown. Wayward effort. And the shot goes out of the stadium into the car park. And that will be a goal kick to Spanish Town Police FC. Austin cleared that downfield, but that's headed away by Captain Siobhan Walters. And Portmore United, here's Guthrie. Pass not accurate enough to find Peck. Of course, as we know, has 2 goals. Both goals for the team so far. Here's Mullins. Not able to find Peck with that pass there, but McGregor wins a throw-in for Spanish Town FC. It's Peck trying to find Rose, and that's cleared. Ooh, lovely skill there from Peck. Plays it out wide to Guthrie. Trying to find Peck on the return run, but not on the safe wavelength there, the teammates. Pusey seemed to Austin climb the back of him there to get that header, but here's Javier Brown attacking the left back there. Lamar. And here's Rashawn Small. Finds Rose infield. Here's Guthrie. Good pass in toward, I believe that was Rashawn Small, but goes over the bar, and that should be, I believe, a corner kick. Really well worked attack there by Portmore United, and they've had several moments of that brilliance. They've just opened up the defense with those amazing one-touch passes, but unfortunately, it seems it's come at a price here, and I believe that's Rashawn Small on the ground. And he'll be receiving some medical attention on the goal line. Just for some scoring updates from elsewhere in the Jamaica Premier League today. Of course, we know there are 2 games going on. Harbourview taking on Waterhouse, and Rowan Brown has broken the deadlock over there with his 9th of the season, which takes him atop of the goal scoring standings, tied with Jordan Fletcher. Elsewhere, of course, remains 0-0 between Tivoli and league leaders Montego Bay United. Here's Small, who's back on his feet, thankfully. I'm not sure who is passing that to. That's clear downfield. And Howell using his strength to get the ball off Ricketts there. A bit too much on that pass from Peck. And that'll be a throw-in on the left-hand side of the pitch. Or Spanish Town Police's FC's tack. And here's Brown. Can come clear. Oh, terrible cross, but somehow it gets way to Guthrie. And the header by Rose, spilled by goalkeeper Samuels there. Fortunately for Spanish Town Police FC, no one was there to pounce on that. And of course, as we mentioned before, with Harbourview taking the lead against Waterhouse, it does raise the question of the fact that Rowan Brown scored, and as I said before, this is 9th of the season. Gives rise to the question, why would Spanish Town Police FC take off their main goal threat this season in Jordan Elliston? Not sure as to why, but just goes to show you that when you have a consistent goal threat, things can change in a game. But nonetheless, here's Rose. It's the ball wide to Mullins. Putting a decent performance so far, and here's Clayton Peck. Gets the ball out to Rose. Does well to get past his man, but Harris wins the ball back. Thought it would been a foul, but the referee says play on, and that's cleared out for a throw there by Harris. Oh well, poor first touch, but gets away with it there, gets away from Pusey as well. There's some Ramon Howell. And there's a ball in behind here. Javier Brown gets a shot away. And that goes over the bar, but nevertheless, he's put in a good performance here today, and he'll be looking to get himself on the score sheet to cap off a pretty good performance. And Portmore United get the ball back here. There's Rose. Gale wins it away from him. Spanish Town Police have a chance for a rare attack in this second half. Pass over the top by Ricketts, however, not accurate enough, unable to find Jaheim McGregor in the space, and that goes all the way through to Robert Henry. It's Javier Brown. To Rousseau. Oh, wide to Clayton Peck. Oh, lovely pass down the channel for Mullins. Cross into the box. And that is cleared. But only as far as Rose. Gets to Guthrie. To Peck. Has a shot on goal, but blocked by Harris. And that goes out for a corner kick, I believe. Portmore United just really starting to put the pressure on Spanish Town Police FC, really going for the jugular. Despite being 2 goals to the good, they want more. And as the old saying goes in football, a 2-goal lead is never safe. Guthrie, corner taken. Let's head it away. Despite some concerns from the players on the ground, no foul given. Guthrie. Still Peck, of course. The cross will come to nothing as that's ruled as an offside. Javier Brown still complaining about a challenge he was on the other end of from the ensuing corner, but there will be a change made here. And it seems Ramon Howell, captain of Portmore United, and as I mentioned in the pre-game analysis, always a pleasure to watch him play. Never seems to lose the ball, never seems to be under pressure. He will make way here. And it seems he'll be coming off for Gale. And also, seems Ronaldo Anthony Robinson, who is their top goal scorer this season, he'll be coming on, of course. He has 3 goals to his name so far this season. He'll be hoping to add to that tally. And he'll be coming on in place of one of their best players today, Romeo Guthrie. So that's 2 changes for Portmore United. Gale and Ronaldo Robinson coming on. Also seems that Orlando Russell's about to make way for Brian for number 18. And Spanish Town Police FC getting ready to make change of their own. As James is coming on for Mushili Dunkley. And Rousseau taking the armband from Howell. Got that one clear. And there's McGregor taking opportunity left by that miscontrol by Sean Small. And that will be a free kick as he lost out on that challenge there.
64-minute substitution for Portmore United. Season number 15, Marcus Reed replacing.
Of course, number 20, Lane, also came on. As well as number 29, Pusey. Free kick taken and headed on by Siobhan Walters for Pusey, who My mistake. He was already on
Referee
from
with the
earlier.
substitution.
Came on at half
Choosing
time,
number
but
6, Siobhan
his
James.
cross across the face of the
Replacing
box
number
was
14,
oh,
Shamar
lovely
Harris.
skill there by
And number
Ronaldo
20,
Robinson.
Reggae
But
Boyz. Replacing number 8, Lamar Davis. And number 8, Annie Ferguson. Replacing number 24, O'Shelley Dunkley.
good work in the middle of the pitch there by Portmore. And they get that out wide to Gale, but he loses out. Good first touch there by Ricketts. Spanish Town Police FC. The chance for first time in a while to have some sustained position. Let's see what they can do with it, however. Chevron loses out there, and that's a throw into Portmore United. So, Javier Brown has popped up all over the pitch today, trying to find a pass into the channel. For number 22, Ronaldo Robinson, able to do so, however. Oh, skill there by Rose to flick it over Puce's head. He does well under pressure to get that back to his goalkeeper, Robert Henry. And despite a poor first touch, does well to retain possession there, but eventually loses out. Brian. There's McGregor. It's a chance to take on Small. He does, but thankfully Small had help there, with Austin just coming across to make that clearance. Here's Gale. Finds Ferguson. James. Ferguson trying to find his teammate, Lane, but Lane wins the ball back from Robinson. And that will be a free kick on Brian there. Fouled by, I believe, by Captain Siobhan Walters, who's arguing his case, but free kick nevertheless for Portmore United in somewhat of a dangerous position. Emilio Rousseau, captain, looks like he's over this one. Of course, we'll be providing some updates from the other games. As we mentioned before, Harbourview has broken the deadlock in their game against Waterhouse, and seems Mobe United, league leaders, have also scored in an attempt to extend their lead at the top of the table. Owen Garden, who of course scored in their last clash, he scored again here against Tivoli. Free kick taken, disappointing one, and less said about that the better, but nothing for Spanish Town Police FC to worry about. Must say, however, dominant performance from Portmore United, even when they couldn't seem to find the breakthrough in the first half. They never really looked worried, they never looked under pressure, and it was really only a matter of time before they got the goal.
Sees number 4, Naja Biggs, replacing number 25, Dante Ricketts.
It seems another change has been made, this time by Spanish Town Police FC. Naja Biggs coming on for number 25, Devontae Ricketts. Now here's Reed. Turns infield. Trying to thread that through to Brian, but unable to do so. There's Mullins to Reed. And Reed loses out there to Lane. And that is a free kick. Spanish Town Police FC, a bit of danger here at the back. Bit of risky play here, but get the ball out wide to Jaheim, who has looked lively at times, and he cuts in field. Oh, lovely pass. Cross across the face of the box. Not accurate enough, couldn't find anyone. But nevertheless, again, good work by Jaheim McGregor, who seems to be the one shining light today for Spanish Town FC. Played it in the path of Pusey, whose cross just couldn't seem to find anybody on the end of it, which has been a recurring theme throughout the course of not just this game, but the season really, which, as I said before, just begs the question, why would they take off their only consistent goal threat this season in the form of Jordan Elliston? But nevertheless, they've made a decision, and I guess they're just going to have to deal with it for the rest of the game. And it seems also that Elliston, according to reports, probably is injured, as of course he's not fully fit. And I guess that would definitely explain things. But nevertheless, it is an unfortunate circumstance for the team, as without him, they're severely lacking in the goal scoring department. As I mentioned before, in regards to the lack of attacking quality for Spanish Town FC, must be noted that, as I mentioned in the pre-match analysis, Diamond Clark, his departure to Arnott Gardens has perhaps made a dent in the depth available to them, the quality available to them in the final third. We saw him make his debut Monday night against Harborview. So that would definitely explain some of the lackluster play in the final third, as we see Portmore United making a change here. Seems Rashawn Small, who has played pretty well today, having a part to play in one of the goals. He's coming off. You substitute Naja Biggs. Gets down the line. No space to do anything with it. To Gale. Biggs. Trying to get it to McGregor, who, of course, is a former Portmore United player, but unable to do so. But they do win a throw in, and they have another. Here's Biggs. It's cleared out for a throw in by Reed. Rose gets to that one ahead of Biggs. That goes out for a throw-in. Brown throws in another. Aim towards McGregor. Or Spanish Town FC could get that shot off. Ruled for, I believe, a foul. That will be free kick to Portmore United. And yet again, another hopeless long ball played forward. But play resumes with Spanish Town Police FC, and here's Biggs. Loses out to Rose, who referee says unfairly won the ball back. And Sajay Harris trying to get it downfield. There's James, good turn. Oh, lovely skill there again. Bringing out a couple of nice turns here, James, since coming on to sustain pressure. And great skill by Siobhan Walters as well to beat his man. There's Ferguson in the middle of the park to James out wide. Javier Brown still on the pitch in some kind of pain. Here's Brian. Gets it out to Reed. Brian again looking for Reed. Reed has it in on the right hand side, trying to beat Brown, and referee says no foul. Thought for sure that was going to be a free kick. Where's Biggs? Instead of opting for the pass for McGregor, tries to find Ferguson in the middle of the park, unable to do so. And Portmore United come clear. But Brown from the pass from Reed, looking for Brian, couldn't sort his feet out. Still has it in the box. Somehow still has it. And across in the path. Reed with another shot, and that's 3-0. Somehow that shot from Mullins from point blank range went off the crossbar, but thankfully for Portmore United, went into the path of Reed, the substitute, who makes Spanish Town's lackluster defense pay. And that is 3-0. And I can't say that the scoreline doesn't reflect the nature of the game thus far. And to be fair, it's well deserved for Portmore United. They've had it all their way this game. And at the end of the day, the scoreline is what it is. Well deserved victory, it seems, is on the way for Portmore United. A very much needed 3 points, considering Mount Pleasant are hot on their trail with a couple of games in hand and could pass them out if they win a couple of those games in hand. So They'll definitely need to keep up these results. And results like these today, it's definitely needed. Putting to bed, putting away some of the teams at the lower end of the table. And it doesn't get much lower than Spanish Town Police FC, who, as I said before several times throughout the course of this game, have the worst defense in the league statistically, and it's been on display in this second half. They fought valiantly to keep a clean sheet in the first half, but second half it's just all unraveled after the substitution of talisman Jordan Elliston, who, as has been mentioned, is still not fully fit yet, but at the end of the day, perhaps could have had, beyond just the actual gameplay, a psychological effect on the team, seeing their talisman not being available. And ever since that moment, really, it's just been downhill since the resumption of the half. And 3-0 is the scoreline, whichever way you want to take it. Miss Biggs. To Ferguson. To Walters. Ferguson. All over the top for McGregor. And good work there by substitute number 24 for Portmore United to win the ball back. That, of course, is right. It's Brown. It's Brian. Trying some fancy footwork, but despite being urged by his teammates to pass the ball, doesn't opt to do so. And when he finally does, loses the ball. Just a recurring theme I've noticed from a couple of the players on both sides, really. Just could be accused of doing a bit too much at times and end up losing the ball, where just it's not really this necessary. James did well to cut inside but lost the ball. There's Ferguson. Lane. Back to Brown. To Gale, rather, and that's headed away by Rousseau. It's James. Spanish Town Police FC, for really the first time in this second half, having some sustained pressure, or, well, possession, really, not pressure. There's Lane to James to Biggs. Biggs a bit too lax on the ball there and ends up losing out. Here's Ronaldo Robinson, who ends up being fouled after being double teamed in the corner. Have to say, the ability to progress the ball from the back to the front, real area of concern, really, for a lot of teams, but especially Spanish Town Police FC. Here's Reed. Right. Ball into. Definitely a terrible touch there. Gale there, unable to really get that ball under his spell. And Portmore United not able to get a fourth there. Here's Gale. Right, trying to play it into Brown. And that's won by Harris. Ferguson trying to get it out wide to Lane, but not accurate enough. And Mullins will deal with that one. Get that out for a goal kick. Corner taken, comfortably claimed by Robert Henry there. Not Robert Henry, I should say. Glenroy Samuel. It's Rose. Brown. To Reed, who's already had his name on the score sheet. Trying to get the better of James here on this left-hand side. Drifts inside, past Ferguson. To Brown. Wayward pass, but not enough power on it to go out of play, and so Gale keeps it in. Here's Austin. Out wide to Rousseau. Rousseau looks in field. Oh, lovely turn there by... Good flick on by Reed for Brown, but the return pass not as accurate. And that goes all the way through to Glenroy Samuel for a... Clears it downfield towards Jaheim McGregor yet again, but dealt well with. And that is a free kick on Spanish Town Police FC. Here's Lane. To Ferguson. Tracked down by Rousseau and that's cleared by Rose for a corner kick. His teammates lament his decision to just boot that out of touch, where perhaps maybe could have decided not to. Taking a bit of a touch there, or taking some time before doing that decision, but nevertheless, better safe than sorry. There's Ferguson. To Brown. Whipped in towards Siobhan Walters, but not strong enough contact. And easily claimed by Henry. Booting it downfield towards Robinson. Not enough accuracy on it, however. And that will be cleared downfield by Harris. Reed switched wings and seems having more joy over this side, but his return pass for Mullins not accurate enough. He's laying on it his way, sent there by the goalkeeper, but fumbles with the ball. Brian unable to get his pass to Mullins. I must say, despite the fact that Portmore United pretty early on started resting a couple of players, given that they could already see that the result was pretty much wrapped up, a number of their players who, or perhaps really won, who came off the bench has really acquitted themselves well. And that has been for sure Reed on that right hand side. And Gale has an attempt. And you can tell that just by that strike alone, he's not a natural attacker. Not the greatest of strikes there.
Indicates a minimum 3 minutes of time to be
3 minutes to go in this one. And as the game draws to a close, must be noted that I figure perhaps going into it, as I mentioned before in the pre-match analysis, and Portmore, of course, were favorites and expected to not just win but dominate. But nothing is taken for granted in football, and as we say, always say, the ball around. So, must say congratulations on the impending victory to Portmore United, retaining their third place spot. Of course, also have coverage of the continued coverage of the Jamaican Premier League over on BAM Sports, fellow Jamaican producer, where Chapelton Maroons will be taking on Arnett Gardens. Of course, covered Arnett Gardens game against. Oh, lovely play here by Portmore United, trying to get that fourth goal. And there's Gale. Good pass. Oh, Robinson. Against for his fourth of the season. And he gets it. Was unsure why he wasn't starting at the start of the game, but he's come on. But he's come on here and he's made the Spanish Town Police FC defense pay. It's been their top scorer this season, Ronaldo Anthony Robinson, and done well, really well there after some good build-up play between Gale and Brown on that right-hand side to get the ball to Robinson, who coolly tucks that one away into the bottom corner, out of reach for Samuel in the goal. And Portmore United, as we trot to the end of this game, comfortable winners. And the referee blows this off. Final score reads Portmore United 4, Spanish Town Police FC 0.